Hello everybody, this is Fronito Bobbin here, and welcome to race number 49 of the 2020-21 NROL Skittles Cup Series season. This is the Alabama 500 at the Talladega Super Speedway. It is time for cup racing here at Talladega, indeed. After two very thrilling races in the Truck Series and the Seamers Nash Series, it's time for the Cup Series to battle for their penultimate round of this season. However, in the first two races of the weekend, we only really talk about one driver, and that one driver just had to be consistent. This series, though, it's a bit different. This series and all the previous 8 races in the playoffs have now resulted in a 3-way battle for the championship. 3 competitors are Ryan Blaney, Martin Truex Jr., and Fronito Bobbin. So it's Ford versus Chevy versus Toyota. I know I got that in the wrong order, but you know. Anyways, so yeah, 3 select drivers are all going for the championship, at least in this race. We'll see how what the point situation looks like going into the final race, but for today, 3 drivers are looking to gain an advantage into the final race of the season. So, before we find out what those 3 drivers could do, it is time to give you the starting grid for today's race. Starting on the pole for this one is Bank Coaches, alongside second is Matt Benedetto, third is Fronito Bobbin, fourth is Kyle Busch, fifth is Chase Elliott, sixth is Clint Boyer, seventh is Brad Keselowski, eighth is Ryan Blaney, ninth is the Felix Box Nerd, 10th is Nia, 11th is Martin Truex Jr., 12th is Ryan Preece, 13th is Denny Hamlin, 14th is Eric Jones, 15th is Joe Logano, 16th is Kana, 17th is Duck, 18th is Russell David, 19th is Kurt Busch, 20th is Kevin Harvick, 21st is Tyler Reddick, 22nd is William Byron, 23rd is Eric Gunwell, 24th is Christian Bell, 25th is Chris Buescher, 26th is Rebecca, 27th is Cole Custer, 28th is Tim Tom, 29th is Jimmy Johnson, 30th is Periship, 31st is Matt Kenseth, 32nd is Gridgen, 33rd is Alex Bowman, 34th is Douglas, 35th is Donald, 36th is Oliver, 37th is Austin Dillon, 38th is Brian Newman, 39th is Ricky Sales Jr., 40th is Bob Walls, 41st is James 6, and 42nd is Michelle's brother. Phone decided to go out. Decided to fall off, but you know what? I'm at a point in the season where I'm not really doing this type of wrestling anymore. So if you hear some background noises, then you hear background noises. I'm not really bothered by that. Also the 2 Banko's cars up here. That's interesting. So you got Fronito Bobbin as Banko's car going for the championship, and you have Banko's himself, who has had a much less of a good season. So I guess we'll talk a bit more detail about our 3 drivers that are going for the championship. And I mainly talk about these 3 because they're all 15 points apart from each other in the championship. And really, it's going to be mainly those 3 because the next guy on back is 75 points back from the leader. Making up those 75 points is going to be a real challenge over the next couple races. So at this point, it's just 3 drivers who all have a realistic chance at winning this title, winning this championship. 2 of which are seasoned veterans. You have Fronito Bobbin and Martin Truex Jr., who have been around the sport for quite some time now and have also won championships previously. Meanwhile, Ryan Blaney is a recent development in this series, and yet here he is going for a championship early on in his career. All that being said, Fronito Bobbin got his first championship pretty early on in his career as well. So, maybe Ryan Blaney is just following in the footsteps of the man himself, Fronito Bobbin. I'm now putting my iPad away just so it doesn't get in the way. And there we go. So let's do this. 3 drivers, all with a realistic chance at taking it all home. Here we come to the start. Yeah, here we go. We're coming up to the start-finish line. So, racing in Sweet Home, Alabama for the penultimate round of the NROL Skittles Cup Series season. Pace car can pull off here. And now we have quite a bit of a straightaway all the way to the finish line. This is going to prove crucial when we come to the checkered flag. So, Bank Coach leads them off. Matt Benedetto to his side. Also, a couple special deliveries in this race as well, you may have noticed. And green flag is in the air for the Alabama 500 at Talladega Superspeedway for the penultimate round of the season. And already we're going multiple lanes wide. Almost 4 wide for the lead there, but Fronto Bob gets a pretty good shot. And Fronto Bob, and already right as the race begins, he has already gone for the lead. And in due time, you're going to start to see these guys go 2 and 3 wide, and they're already doing it. And looks like Fronto Bob is going to be starting on the middle lane here, as the inside lane getting a bit of a run. Brad Keselowski lead the charge. Oh, Chase Elliott is going to ditch Fronto Bob, but goes to the inside lane. Wow. Very interesting move from Chase Elliott. And finally, Chase Elliott got Brad Keselowski, also puff driver, but he's not really in contention anymore. Although, Keselowski might be able to help his Penske teammate go for the title. And Chase Elliott goes all the way to the top lane for some reason, which allowed Nia to do some stuff here in the bottom lane. And Ryan Preece is just right behind her. And just like that, Nia is now your leader in Talladega. Oh, she goes to the high lane and Ryan Preece goes with her. That's an interesting idea. Preece is gonna ditch Nia for some reason. I've got a couple purple cars and Denny Hamlin and Kana. Kana gonna go to the bottom lane, but Denny Hamlin gonna go. Actually, Hamlin gonna go to the middle lane here. And now Kana, who's gonna use the experience that she gained in yesterday's Siemens National Series race and today's Cup Series race. Kana, the only driver in this field to actually race in yesterday's Siemens National Series race. So the only one with a bit of prior experience. Well, David is well going with Nia for some reason, huh? We're seeing a bit of a trend here where the guys in the bottom lane go to the top lane and the guys behind, or guy behind them, or girl sometimes, goes with them. So Nia going back to the bottom lane though, she's got Russell David behind him. And Nia trying to lead her lap early in this race. I mean, Kana. And Kana leads a lap in this race. Meanwhile, the inside lane picking up speed once again. Here is Tyler Reddick with Rebecca right behind him. Rebecca gonna stay on the bottom lane here. Nope, she's gonna go to... Ooh, boy. Ooh, Russell David with an interesting move going to the middle lane. That could come in handy. Meanwhile, the bottom here comes Cole Custer. And the field is already 3 wide. We're also going to start to see the conveyor belt action that's kind of... that happens here at Talladega. Well, all the play tracks, but... that makes it the other virtual play tracks that have gone to the season haven't produced the 3 wide racing that we're seeing today. Now the Sky Twins have linked up to try to take the lead here. Also, another thing about this race, this is going to be a lot closer to what we saw in the Truck Series, because of course we haven't got Can't Drive to slow things down. And Douglas actually ditching his teammate. Very interesting stuff. And here comes Austin Dillon up to the lead. Actually, quite a number of back markers are coming up here now. But Austin Dillon with the likes of Ryan Newman, Daniel 6, and Mark Six Jr., key championship contenders now up here. Austin Dillon not sure where to go here. Let's go to the inside lane to get a bit of speed. Ooh, no, Austin Dillon gonna shut the door on Truex. Not quite sure where to go here. And he goes to the middle lane, or the high lane with Truex. Very interesting maneuver. And he goes back to the low line. Wow, so also went to the high lane just to go back to the bottom lane and leave Truex there. And here is Danger 6, who actually earlier in the season was one spot away from winning the race at Orlando. Now here he is leading Talladega. Here's another interesting leader. Got Bubba Wallace. But Wallace a bit of a hometown hero. Oh, what is this? What is this? We got some spinning. We got some drivers out of control in the bottom lane there. Wow. Well, out of control drivers. No caution. But wow. That was quite close. Our first little scrap of the day. Let's now see that closer detail. Man, that could have been close. So let's see where it started out. So Purserp actually tried to make it 4 wide. Or is that Oliver? No, it's Oliver. Oliver was right next to Purserp. Tried to make it 4 wide. Got squeezed in between Rebecca. And then she got tagged by Percy Serp. And they both went to the bottom lane here. Ooh, tagged Rebecca a little bit. And then you have Oliver all the way in the bottom lane. And also Eric Garrola had to try to make up moves, try to avoid an accident. Both of them were able to save it. Oh, that's just cost Purserp a number of positions. It's also split the pack up a little bit. Interesting. We'll see how quickly the pack gets back together. So Kevin Harvick leads now. And here is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Stenhouse a pretty decent driver at Talladega. He actually got one of his 2 career wins here back in 2017. This pack got a little bit broken up due to that scrap that we just saw. And actually, they may have just split the whole pack as a whole in 2. We'll see if this whole pack gets back together at some point in the future. But for right now, it's just these guys. As Rebecca Marchesini go to the bottom lane. Decisions. That being said, though, a number of the back markers now getting some time in the sun. And Ryan Blaney already going back to the... I mean, not Ryan Blaney. Austin Dillon already going back to the lead. I don't know why I said Ryan Blaney. He's nowhere near up front now. I tell you what, that little scrap happened just as the back markers were up the field. So now that raise a question, do you think that this pack is going to get back together at some time? Well, so that little scrap that we just saw, if another one just like that happens and it leads to a caution, you know, we will have to restart the race and Arizona, everyone will be bunched back together. And here's Russell David, who I haven't mentioned yet in this race. Up here in this front pack and now in the middle lane. And Bubba Wallace up here in the lead. Man, we could wind up seeing a wild card winner here. Oh, but Stenhouse. Did Stenhouse beat Bubba Wallace to the line that time? Yes, he did. So while Bubba Wallace is right there, it's going to be Ricky Stenhouse Jr. that leads that lap. And meanwhile, we got a bit of 3-1 action up here in this front pack that is now split up from the backpack. So right now it's top 14. We're all up here. There was actually a couple of drivers that were kind of separated, but now we got 2 packs. So we have the front pack, and then we have about 3 seconds between the guy in 14th and the guy in 15th. Interesting. But that being said, we'll keep an eye on that backpack and see if they're able to catch back up. If I were to make a prediction, I think they can. But it's going to take some time. Luckily, though, they have a lot of that as we are only 12 laps in. Oh, what is this? What is this? I heard some... Oh, Bubba Wallace! Bubba Wallace with a blown engine! Oh, man, he must have stayed in the draft for too long. Bubba Wallace blows up. Wow. And just like that, Bubba Wallace is done for the day. He is over. Going to the bottom lane is to avoid a catastrophe. Wow. From leading the race to out of it. Bubba Wallace, our first DNF of the day. And this might be a caution here if he can't get back to pit road. But I think he will, though. I think he's going to get back to pit road. Yep, so Bubba Wallace with enough momentum to get back to pit road, but that is going to be the end of his day. Oh dear. Bubba Wallace, your first DNF of the race. And not a good one. So let's now rewind time a little bit to see what happened following that. Yeah, Bubba Wallace, he must have just stayed in the draft for too long. I've never seen that before. It's pretty rare, actually, these days to see a car just randomly blow up. But that's exactly what's happened to Bubba Wallace, and he is now out of the race. Anyway, back up to the league, here's Montrix Jr. And actually, Truex is the only championship contender in this front pack. Wow. It's not going to be good for Freund Bobbin or Blaney. Actually, the backpack well, the backpack had to slow down a little bit because, you know, of an exploded Bubba Wallace. Yeah, they're a little bit messed up now. Balls. Anyway, Ryan Newman's up front, and here is Dangerous X back up here again. And looks like Dangerous X is preparing for its next big stunt. I don't mention Dangerous X very often because he's usually at the back, but today he's running up front with some of the best and some of the worst. Get everyone back to the lead, though. So this mini pack up front has now formed its own pack, as you would have guessed, but... yeah, that's slow from Bubba Wallace. Oh, it happened such a bad time. Now I have to wait even longer for the pack behind to catch up. As Oliver goes to the lead. 3 seconds back. And actually... there's a decent amount of field separation as well amongst the guys. Oh, never mind. They're all getting back together. I think. I don't know. Let's see what these guys can do. And meanwhile, Russell David out to the front again. You know, if the rest of us were to go like this, where it's just these guys up in this front pack, one of these guys would win the race. Okay, the pack is starting to form up back there. But that blow up from Bubba Wallace did not help things. So Bubba Wallace officially off the track now. Wow. From leading the race to not even being in the race anymore. That's something. You know, a lot of these guys can actually use this race to take advantage and improve their position in the points. Not Bubba, though. He is going to be credited for dead last. So, sorry to all the Bubba fans that had to see that. But, at least the Bubba haters, then we'll get something out of that. But, anyways, we're going to talk about them. So, it doesn't seem like the backpack is gaining, but they're not losing either. So, We may need a caution to bunch these guys back up. Well, that backpack is still pretty crowded, so there is a chance that they will have an accident before the end of the race. I mean, they already did. Well, they were close anyways. That being said, they were gaining a little bit. Actually, are they gaining, or is this an optical illusion? Maybe I'm dreaming. Well, we'll wait and see. Well, then I guess we'll enjoy the battle up front for now. Oh, still not going on the bottom lane. Pretty soon these guys pick their lanes. It is like a conveyor belt. Oh, here we go. They gained a little bit that time. Yeah, I'd say give them about 10 laps and they'll be back up front. Unless they have another accident. So how many times has Russell David been in contention to win and then he has some sort of incident that sets him back and, you know, ruins his run? I mean, it seemed like that after, you know, his second place at Texas, that Russell would have been able to get back on track. But sadly it wasn't. It was that only seemed to be a bit of a one-off, as the very next week in Atlanta, he messed up. Anyways, the field behind is slowly catching up. So pretty soon, we're gonna have a full field battle for the lead. Alex Bowman. Actually, Bowman led that last lap, but he might lead another one. I believe Bowman only has one win on the season, or he may have two. The only one I remember is his domination at Seekonk Speedway. Other than that, I can't think of anything. Maybe because he does only have one win. Oh, they lost ground that time. Wow. Well, we may never see this front pack have an opportunity to have to fill with the backpack again. I mean, we may not. Well, basically, we may not see an opportunity for the two packs to become one again. The only way that we're going to see that now is if we see a caution. And after that first scrap, I'm not sure if we're going to see a second one. So, we may have two separate races happen. As now this whole front pack is now double file. After being single or tri-file just a minute ago. Okay, they are slowly starting to form back up the 3 lanes now. So Truex has the lead. Harvick's there in first now. You know, if Austin Dillon were to win this race, there'd be 2 weird wins. So as we know, Austin Dillon's first win of the season came at the sausage race at Raupuna in New Zealand. And the second one might come here. You know, it varies from lap to lap. What's the distance to the guy in 14th? Also, the guy in, well, I actually now was the guy in 13th who's the last driver in this lead pack because, you know, Bud Wallace blew up, so that's one less car for a one less driver in this front pack. So let's see what happens this time. And I think they gained a little bit. No, Chris Bell leaded that pack that time by 2 seconds, 2.39 seconds behind. So, oh, Russell David leads that lap by a little bit. Yeah. So, I don't know. I really can't tell if they're gaining or losing. We'll have to check every single lap and see. I think we're gonna keep checking on them. So how about this? We're gonna keep checking on the backpack, see how they're doing with getting up to these front guys. We're gonna keep checking them until either we have a caution, or we have 10 laps to go and it doesn't look like they're gonna have any chance at actually catching up. Look, help a little bit that time. Actually, you can hear them. And you can kind of visually see them as well. Yeah, they're getting closer and closer, so I think in due time we're gonna see these two packs become one again, and we're gonna have quite the race. But for right now, those guys have only been able to battle with each other, as are these guys. So most of the field's staying pretty static for now. But if the two packs meet up again, well, then it's gonna be a lottery. Okay, yeah, they're coming fast. They're coming. So yes, pretty soon we're gonna have the whole pack all back together again. You know, here's some food for thought. What would have happened if Bubba Wallace blew up if he was in the middle of the pack? Because lucky for Bubba and everyone else, he wasn't able to slow anybody down. Because he was at the tail end of this front pack. And then, he was able to get down the track in time before the backpack caught up. So he wasn't able to slow anybody down. There was a bit of a slowdown. But that slowdown isn't going to last. Well, hope you guys enjoyed seeing all these guys in their time in the sun. As pretty soon it's time to get some new guys in contention for the race. I tell you what though, this race has been pretty interesting so far. So Ryan Newman actually leads another lap. You know, Ryan Newman hasn't won a lot of races in his career. But a couple of ones that he did win did come on the super speedways. I think he's got a Daytona 500 even. Meanwhile, here's Austin Dillon. Yep, they're coming. Every lap, they're getting closer and closer now. So they're 1.7 seconds behind that time, and I think this time 1.2. As Alex Bowman takes the lead. It's also been quite fun to see all these back markers up here, but they're coming. So it's the likes of Stenhouse, Dangerous, Ryan Newman, Austin Dillon. Hope they had their fun up front. As the back, here they come. They're coming. They're here. So Austin Dillon, Alex Bowman, gonna lead this lap. That being said, though, with how split the pack was, they're still all scrambled. That being said, though, the whole inside line is now formed up. Yep. So now the entire inside line is all formed up. However, the middle and high lines are pretty short. Alex Bowman, though, gonna take this opportunity to lead another lap. Yeah, Ryan Nimmott's still one of the ones, or still one of the ones on the bottom lane, so. But he's one of the last drivers who was in this front pack before, who was on the inside line. Yep. And there is Ryan Blaney. However, no sign of Fronto Bobbin. Wow. You know, Fronto Bobbin was actually looking really good. I think he had a decent points cushion up until his accident at Charlotte. So Fronto Bobbin needs to use this race as a means of getting back up the leaderboard. So if he plays his cards right, Fronto Bobbin has a good chance at taking that points lead back. Meanwhile, the entire field is now 3 wide. So this lap is going to go to the real Xbox nerd. He's someone else I don't talk about too much. Actually, real Xbox nerd has also had a pretty bad season. I mean, sure, he has 2 wins, but those 2 wins haven't really meant much in terms of the championship. Meanwhile, you have no wins Cole Custer, and yet he's at least in the playoffs. I mean, he hasn't done very well. Actually, Cole Custer's playoff run has just been nothing but a disaster. It is so much of a disaster that, as there's some sauces going on, as I was saying, Cole Custer has had such a disastrous playoff run that with 2 races to go in the season, he is no longer mathematically eligible for the championship. Yeah. So, better luck next year. But Custer's a young driver, so he'll be around for years to come. Meanwhile, Denny Hamlin, your leader. He's got his teammate-in-law, Christopher Bell, right behind him. Never mind. Chris Bell off himself. Actually, Chris Bell getting followed up by a fellow rookie and Tyler Reddick. And here is Fronto Bobbin. I didn't even notice, but Fronto Bobbin has made his way up the pack. And here he is, ready to do some battle. Same for a lot of other guys who were back in the pack a second ago. Here is Kana. So Kana got her first Siemens National Series win early in the season. Could she get her first Skills Cup Series win the same season? You know, Kana's definitely had an interesting season despite only running part-time. So it's still going to be interesting to see what Kana can do next season when she's full-time. That being said, though, this is Kana's last start of the year. Of the season, I should say. Yeah, let's just say season. So last start of the season for Kana. So she definitely wants to make the most out of it. You know, I just realized something. Cowboys just running a skill zombies car one race too late. Ah, well, mistakes happen. And plus, I wasn't sure which race was supposed to be for Halloween season. I guess we're gonna go for this one. Yeah, we're gonna go. Well, whatever. I'll find out what soundtrack I'm gonna use for the intro of this race once I get to the editing process. Anyways, doesn't matter. That's just a cosmetic detail. So Bangkok's now in front, and Kana and Frontibaba are just on the lead for a second now on the high line. So not the smartest move in the world, but perhaps they can make it work. Oh, here's the thing, though. I think you definitely want to be on the inside line, coming, or at least coming to the checkered flag. Because if you're on the middle line or the high line, you're kind of stuck. The only way then to get back to the lead is to shuffle your way back. Because here's the thing, right? With this conveyor belt style racing that we have here, the driver who is most likely to win this race, well, not now, but the driver most likely to win this race coming to the end is going to be a driver on the inside line. Like, as an example, we were coming with the checkered flag right now. So you got Banco, he's out in front, but he might not be able to lead this whole lap. So actually, you got Ryan Priest and championship contender Martin Truex Jr. behind him. And maybe even Oliver, if he can pull off an upset. Those would be the drivers with the most likely chance to have winning the race on the last lap. Now, of course, we still have 20 laps to go. So there's still a chance for a driver on the middle line or the high line to win this race. But depending on what happens throughout the race, their chances could be slim. And Frontibaba, he needs to do well in this race, especially do well over Truex and Blaney. If Frontibaba is gonna, give himself a good cushion to win this championship, because otherwise he's got some work to do going to the final race. But I tell you what, this championship could come all the way down to the wire. That being said, though, there are a couple times where we've seen drivers in the middle and the high line thankfully here, as he's Oliver, he was like always been dancing around here, and now he's out in front. So you can't tell until the last lap. See, most races you can't tell until the last 10 laps, but here. Meanwhile, Doug, oh no, it was Doug that led that lap. Huh, the other Great Westerner. I think Duck won the race at Atlanta. Well, the fall race at Atlanta. Not sure what else has won this year, though. And then you have Alex Bowman, who's actually been hanging around in front for quite some time. He's not fun. And Ryan Blaney. We might be starting to see the reverse conveyor belt. This race is certainly going to get interesting. You also have cases where the drivers in the middle line decide to shuffle to the top line He's going to allow the drivers in the middle line to move up a little bit. So now we have Bowman and Chris Buescher, who aren't sure which lane to take. And Ryan Newman, who's been up front for most of the day so far, is still pretty high up the pack in the middle lane here. Oh, now it's starting to split up a little bit. Alright, so Chris Buescher now ditching Alex Bowman to get to the lead here, and he's got rookie Russell right behind him. And just behind them is Clint Bowyer. Clint Bowyer might be retiring pretty soon, by the way. Meanwhile, Chris Buescher, in the opposite of retirement, he's just started his... Well, I say just started. He, actually just got back into the, Skittles Cup series. That's Ron started to become a powerhouse team again here in the Skittles Cup series. Like Spock's Nerd coming back up here. Here is Purser. Ooh, is this in 9th a minute ago? Is all the way up to 1st. That's something to behold. Alright. Well, we're nearing the climax of the race. There have been no cautions so far. There's one moment where the field split up, but now it's back together. So all 41 drivers remaining in this race still have a chance at winning. And of course, the only driver who doesn't have a chance to win this race is Bud Walsh, as his engine blew up, or something exploded quite some time ago. But that's for everyone else. Here's Kyle Busch back up the field again. Man, it's crazy. Within such a short period of time, they're at the front, then they're at the back, and then they're at the front again. It's something quite special. And another interesting thing, nobody has fallen out of this pack yet. All 41 drivers remaining in this race are all in the same pack. Which means at this moment, they all have as good a chance as anybody at winning this race. Here's Matt Cantor quietly taking the lead. As well as Tim Tom. Tim Tom, first time I've spoken about him. He just came from 12th to 1st. Man, the winner of this race could come down to someone being all the way in the back of the field and then moving all the way up to the front. And meanwhile, Tim Tom has now decided to move to the middle lane here. Ooh, no, go top lane. Going to top lane. And now you got Austin and Ricky Stelzner going to the middle lane. That's going to allow Bank Coach who's in the inside lane to get up here. Austin low, keeping that lead for now. Oh, what is this? What is this? Bank Coaches with a blown engine. Bank Coaches with a blown engine. Second blown motor of the day. And this time it is Bang Coaches, who started on pole, was up to 7th at that. And Bang Coaches is now done for the day. Let's see what happened here. So fortunately for Bang Coaches, he was on the inside lane here, so we had the most amount of space and the easiest time getting to the bottom lane. He did hold up the bottom lane for a split second there. But that is Bang Coaches. Another one. One and done for the day. Wow. That is something I did not see coming from bank coaches. Bo Wallace racing for Strickland team, but bank coach racing for YouTube Motorsports, which is getting equipment from Tobabin Motorsports. Oh dear. And that has once again rid of the pack, but not as badly this time. This time it's only a few select cars who are out in front. That being said, they're going pretty quickly. So I got a bit of single file act here. You got Austin Dillon out here with Matt Kenseth, Ricky Associate, Tim Tom, and Jimmy Johnson. And then you have Bell and Kurt Busch. Pretty late in the going too. We're gonna have 10 laps to go this time by. I tell you what, bank coach is blowing up. It's gonna be interesting to see how it pans out. Man, that's really just split up the fields. We'll have to see how long it takes for them to get back together. Tim Tom able to take a little bit of advantage of it. Man, oh my goodness, look at the back. People going all over the place. They're going from the high lane to the low line to the middle lane. No one knows where to go. And here is Jimmy Johnson, and once again the field slowly forming back up. That being said, I think that has helped a couple drivers. They've been able to change lanes. And they'll give themselves a better chance at winning and stuff. Yeah, but we're back together. Oh, actually, the middle and high lane's a little bit broken up. Meanwhile, the entire bottom lane's all back together. It's just like a... Really, this what we just saw here is actually a repeat of what we saw a little bit earlier on. Thing is, though, we still have a good amount of drivers up here. So, Christopher Bell, your leader at this moment. You got the likes of Brad Keselowski, Danger Six, Matt Bandetto, who started on the front row in this race, now getting back up here. And a certain Kana is on the inside lane. This could get interesting. Meanwhile, Froito Bobman still stuck in the middle lane. Man, Froito Bobman not having a very good day. That's really going to set him back for the championship. And this is the penultimate round, which means after this, Froito Bobman only has one last race to solidify himself as the champion if he can. That being said, though, Blaney and Truex, they're not exactly doing too good either, so... As I said before, this championship could come down to the wire. However, as the championship could come down to the wire, this race could also come down to the wire. As once again, the field is now 3 wide. Douglas has the lead, but Chase Elliott there at second. As 2 number 9 cars now leading this race. Here is the real Xbox nerd now. It's followed by Nia and Kana in there, and between those two is championship contender Ryan Blaney. Ooh, real Xbox nerd go all the way to the high line. Not the brightest move in the world as he got Nia and the like. Oh, here you go, real Xbox nerd. Must have listened to me as they're going back to the bottom lane, but likely going to top lane in the exit corner. Yep. So Kana's up here, but it's a little bit too early. So Kana, long shot chances that she's going to win this race. So 5 to go, I think. Yeah, 52, 3, 4, 5, okay, 6 laps to go. And Kana back in the lead, but it's a little bit too early for that. So, who could win this race? Are we going to see a championship contender? Are we going to see a previous winner? Or could we see a strange winner? Doc now to the inside line. And Ross David down here as well. Oh boy, if this was the end of the race. Yeah, Connor around the top lane. So this race is ultimately going to come down to who's in the bottom lane once the checkered flag is about to come out. And here is Russell David, still looking for his first career Skittles Cup Series win. But again, he's doing it too early. That being said, however, we have seen drivers hanging around the front for a little bit. So, this may not be the end of the day for Russell. Actually, if Russell picks the middle lane, I think if you're actually in the middle lane, you have a better chance at winning the race than if you're in the high lane. Oh, there goes Russell. Too late. As Mr. Lady, or Mr. Lady's brother, now in the middle lane. William Byron, out in front. So, 4 laps to go. And unfortunately, drivers who are in the middle or the high lines are going to get shuffled back. And likely ruin their chances at winning this race. Eric Jones now in front. Well, trying to get out front. Eric Jones hasn't had a particularly good playoff either. As drivers are starting to get aggressive now. 4 wide-isms. Ooh, that could have been a disaster there. Right then. 3 laps to go. Byron goes high, but Jones goes to the middle. And here is Clint Boyer in a special Barstool sponsored car. Ooh, we got a number of good drivers on the inside. There's Fernando all the way back there. Fernando still has a good number of laps to get back up here. Well, here we go then. This is it. Man, drivers in the highlight are falling fast. Wow. Yeah, fast. Wow, indeed. Can't even speak English. Alright, here we go. 2 laps to go at Talladega Super Speedway. It's still anybody's race. But that depends on who can play their cards right. Ooh, drivers moving positions quite rapidly. Kyle Busch went to the middle lane, then he went to the bottom lane again. I already know the winner is going to be somebody on the bottom lane. Unless someone from the middle of the high lanes can pull off some sort of miracle. Meanwhile, Fernando Alban is rapidly moving up front. This is going to be good for his championship chances. And what a good time of the race for it to happen. They're going to take the white flag this time by Kansas now on the bottom lane. Tim Tom there as well. Logano and Jimmy Johnson. And here comes Tim Tom. And here we go. Logano right behind him. And Jimmy Johnson there as well. Jimmy Johnson has 2 wins already in the playoffs. Is he about to get a 3rd? And here is Jimmy Johnson going to the lead. Jimmy John's out in front, but he's got a number of aggressive drivers behind him. We got Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano. It's going to be 3 wide race for the finish. Here they come to the stripe. Denny Hamlin's on the inside lane, and Jimmy John's in the second. It's going to be close. And come on. Jimmy Johnson with his 3rd win in the season. Win number 86 for Jimmy Johnson. A surprise win in Auto Club. Another interesting win at Denver the next week. And now, a 3rd win. How does he do it? Jimmy Johnson with his 3rd win of the season and his 86th career win in the NROL Skittles Cup Series. Wow. Again, we're gonna show the replay on that in a bit to show the finish, but wow. As you expect, you would have expected, that was quite the race to the finish. And I just wonder who's gonna finish where. And Froito Bobbin, the leading playoff driver, and I cannot see Blaney or Truex. Yep, they did not finish well. This is exactly the race that Froito Bobbin needed, and Froito Bobbin is back in championship contention. So then, let's consider the rest of the grid. Official standings for the race. So Jimmie Johnson, I can't believe it, a third win in this season, in this playoffs that we've had. Of course, Jimmie Johnson's not a playoff driver, but wow. A third win in the last 7 races of the season for Jimmie Johnson. That is something I did not see coming. A third win from Jimmie Johnson. How? It's been such a short time span, too. I mean, Blaine did that early on in the season, but wow. Man, Jimmie Johnson's been struggling this whole year, and now with a late season resurgence, as he is about to go into retirement, that is something. Wow, I did not see that coming, but Jimmie Johnson, win number 86. That I can't believe it. Yeah, I'm just stunned by the winner now, Jimmie Johnson. Of all the drivers that could have won, I mean, it was a lottery at the end of who could have won this race, and in the end, it was Jimmie Johnson who gets his 3rd win of the season and his 84th win overall. That is just wow. So, Denny Hamlin comes from 2nd, Joey Logano on 3rd. I'll tell you what, though, it's very close to being one of those 2 guys winning the race. Kyle Busch comes on 4th, Ricky Jr. in 5th. That's actually kind of normal. Tim Tonkin at 6th, Froito Bobbin in 7th with a very good day. I tell you what, Froito Bobbin actually set it up really well right at the end there. That was incredible. Oliver comes from an 8th, Matt Kenseth at 9th, Kurt Busch 10th, Cole Custer in 11th, Clint Bowyer 12th, Chris Bell 13th, Brad Keselowski in 14th, 15th is Perry Sub, 16th is James 6, 17th is Ryan Preece, 18th Eric Jones, 19th Matt Benedetto, 20th is Austin Dillon, 21st is William Byron, 22nd is Donald, 23rd is Douglas, 24th is Ryan Newman, 25th is Alex Bowman, 26th is Chase Shelley, 27th is Rebecca, 20th is Kevin Harvick, 29th is Nia, 30th is Ryan Blaney, 31st is Chris Buescher, 32nd is the Real Xbox Nerd, 33rd is Mitch Light's brother, 34th is Tyler Reddick, 35th is Russell David. Well, that was to be expected. 36th is Martin Truex Jr., 37th is Connor, 30th is Gertrude, 39th is Duck, 40th is Eric Gamrola. Eric Gamrola, the last running car. Actually, the whole field finished within a second of itself. Wow. The whole pack that was still out there was so close together, they all finished within a second of each other. It only took 1 second for the whole field across the line. That's pretty rare as well. And then you have bank coaches in 41st and Bo Wallace 42nd, who both had car problems. And yeah, so bank coach with the failed gearbox and Bo Wallace with the failed camshaft. Well, hopefully they build those cars better, but it's a little bit too late now, as next week is championship week. That's right. We are done in Talladega. We are done with the penultimate rounds of the season. Next week, we crown a champion. Actually, 3 champions for all 3 series, but a champion for the Cup Series. And it's likely going to come down to Froito Bobbin, Martin Truex Jr., and Ryan Blaney. So Froito Bobbin had the day that he needed. Honestly, it looked like it was going to be a bit of a struggle for Froito Bobbin, but right at the end there, Froito Bobbin came in a clutch and came home at 7th. And compare that to where Truex and Blaney finished. That was a really good situation. So Blaney comes home in 30th and Truex in 36th respectively. That is not where you want to finish if you want to win the championship. So, Froito Bobbin in pretty good shape now going to the next race. So Froito Bobbin, he had his accident in Charlotte, which set him back, but this was the race he needed to rebound. And I think that next week we're going to see a hard charging Froito Bobbin. Could go back-to-back champion, but anything can happen next week, as this championship could go right to the wire. So that's all from Talladega. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. But like I said, next week, championship week, that is going to be one to watch. So that's going to be very exciting. So hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in whatever I make next.